Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of selections from Prometheus Bound, and I finished last time up to line 987, and so we had this rather brisk and unpleasant dialogue between Hermes and Prometheus now has a short speech here, Uga supais tekati tudi anousteros, and this is a question here. So if you expect, if you expect pusesthai is a future infinitive from punthanamai, so if you expect that you are about to perceive something para mu, are you a child and still more, well, perhaps more foolish than this man? That is perhaps, well, either referring to himself or perhaps Zeus. Notice the accent on para, which tells you it's referring backwards, and it's going with the emu here. So are you a child or still more foolish than this man if you expect that you will perceive something from me? Uk esti aikisma udi mekanem. So for there is no aikisma, something like perhaps torment here, nor device, nor means. We get the word mechanical and so on from this. So nor some device, hotoi, by which Zeus protrepsatai is from protrepamai, meaning to urge forward or to impel, perhaps almost compel, which Zeus would impel me, by which Zeus would compel me, geganesai, to speak such things, these things, prinan, before kat alaste. Now we get this is a neuter plural here, and this is an aorist passive singular subjunctive. So before these destructive bonds might be loosed. So there is no torment nor device by which Zeus will impel me to speak these things until these destructive bonds are released. Prostauta riptesto. Now we get a nice third person singular imperative here. So the prostauta in regard to these things, perhaps in the face of these things. We get a men, and we're going to get a de here. So let be hurled, it's a passive, from ripto to hurl, so it's a passive imperative here. Let be hurled the aethalasophlux. So this is the smoky or blazing fire on the one hand, and we get another imperative from kukao, and we don't get lengthening here of the alpha. Kukao is to confound or throw into confusion, and so let him throw all things into confusion and let all things. It's not passive. So let him throw all things into confusion and let him stir everything up by his literally white-winged, or perhaps white-feathered. Nifas is perhaps a blizzard here. Nifas is snow, but this is probably a bit stronger. So his white blizzard, and his chthonic, that is perhaps deep or beneath the earth, brontemas, in thundering. Ga for gnampse, this is from gnampto, which is to bend. Now the subject here is uden, I think. So for nothing will bend me. It's it's uden tondi, none of these things, that is the thunder and lightning and so on, for none of these things will bend me so as also to speak, at the hands of whom creon it is necessary for nin for auton, for him, ekpesein, aorist infinitive here, to fall from his tyranny. Though he won't say at whose hands he will fall from his tyranny. Hermes replies, Hora nun e soitaut aroga finatai. Now that this is this enclitic nun, it doesn't mean now so much, but it's more like a then. So look then, if these things, I think it's the subject, will appear as aroga. Now this is an adjective, this is a neuter plural. These things will appear as sources of assistance, soy, for you. So look carefully then to see if these things will appear as a source of assistance for you, but it's plural for singular. Optai palai de kai bebuliutai tadi. Optai is a perfect passive from horao, using that opt root from opsomai that you get in the future. So long ago, well, it's neuter plural, I think singular verb, these things have been seen, and tadi, these things have been determined. So perfect passive here from bulamai. Have been considered, or perhaps have been determined, or perhaps considered here. Tolmasen omataya, tolmasen poti prostas perusas, pe monas orthos phronen. Now, tolmao is to dare, but it can, I think in the sense here, perhaps bring yourself, O vain one, bring yourself, poti, at some time, to think rightly in regard to your present sufferings. Okles martain me. This is from oklio. Oklio can mean to annoy. It can also mean to opportune. So you are annoying me in vain. You are opportuning me in vain. Hoppos, like, so perhaps almost hoppos for like hose, as though prosagoron, paragoron from paragorio, as though addressing a wave. Esel theto se me poti hos ego dios gnomein phoberthes, they lunus genesamai. I think this is impersonal here, so it's something like let it not come to you ever. So, other words, let it not enter your head that I, having feared the gnome, the opinion of Zeus, that I, Genesamai, I will become Thelu nous. This is from Thelus, female, and nous, the mind. I will become of womanish mind. Kai lipareso, from lipario, is to beg or to entreat, and I will entreat the one greatly, this is adverb here, greatly hated, from stugio, the one who is greatly hated. I would entreat, understand, him to release me from these bonds. And then we get this three-word line here in the dative. This is gunai komimus, so it's that mim root of copying. So it's something like, and the huptiama is supplications. So with women-like supplications of hands, literally. plural for singular. So just to look at that bit again. So let it never enter your head that I, in fearing the gnome, in the opinion of Zeus, that I will become of womanish mind, and that I will entreat the one who is so greatly hated to release me from these bonds with woman-like supplication of hands. And then tu pantos dio, this is this idiom we've seen before, I think. Literally, I lack the whole of it. That is, I'm a long way from doing that. Now, Hermes now replies with this rather long speech, which contains some rather ghastly prophecies of what's going to happen to poor old Prometheus. So, legon eoika pola kaimaton erain. So I seem to be speaking many things, and erain, to speak matane in vain. Now we're going to get here a number of second person passive second person passive verbs here. So this is from Tengo. Tengo is to wet, but here it's passive, so to be wetted, perhaps almost to melt, to be melted, in other words, to give in. For you, or soften perhaps might be better. For you are softened in respect of nothing, nor, another word for softening, so perhaps you are melted in respect of nothing, nor are you softened by my litais, by my entreaties. But dakon is an aorist participle from dakno, to bite. The aorist is edakon. So it's another metaphor here. So like a neotsuges, a newly yoked polos foal, having bitten on the bit, that's the thing they put in their mouths, we get more. This is iota, these are all iota adscripts here. You are violent, and Mackay, you fight against the Aenea, against the rains. Utter, a very strong but. This again is Iota's adscript, and this again is second person. It's from svodrunamai, to put excessive trust in. So you trust, but indeed you put excessive trust in your weak sophismati, cleverness. Althadiaga toridi fronunti me kalos. For Althadia is stubbornness for the one who does not think properly. For this stubbornness, for the one who does not think properly, literally cat autane in itself, or in it, literally has strength greater than nothing. So i.e. is the weakest of all things. So for this stubbornness, for the one who does not think properly, is the weakest of all things. Literally in itself, it is strong, greater than nothing. Skepsai, but examine, look carefully. Ean me tois emais pestes logois. If you are not persuaded, this is aorist passive subjunctive, if you are not persuaded by my words, hoios te kaimon, the hoios here I think is with the skepsai. So look, what sort of kaimon, literally storm perhaps, and three-waved and the afuktos goes with this, and I think it goes with this as well. So it's a three-waved storm which is inescapable, alpha privative plus the fugo root, and the gamma turning into a kappa before the tor. So see what sort of three-waved inescapable storm of evils Epes comes against you. This is from Ep Amy. Perhaps will come against you. It's future, I think. Protomen ga oquida faranga bronte kai karanai flogi parte sparaxe tandi kai kupse dumas toson. So first of all, protomen, and we must be getting a bit down at the bottom here. So first of all, the father, this is the subject here, this is Zeus. Sparasso is to rip apart. So he, and this is the future here, he will rip apart this oquida pharanga. Oquis means rugged, it's an third declension adjective, so this rugged crag, he will rip it apart with his thunder and his lightning fire. And the Tandi goes with this as well, because pharynx is feminine, so he will rip apart this rocky crag. Kai and Krupse from Krupto, he will hide your body, Tosson, and a Petrea Ankale. Now, an Ankale is often used of just arms. I think this is an abstract here, meaning a rocky enfolding will carry you off from Bastasdo. Macron de Mercos. So you get a participle here, en telutesas. Having completed, so I think this is you, having completed a long merkos, a long stretch of time, a long length of time, hexes from Heiko, you will come back, apsaron, into the light. But the Paternos kuon, literally the winged dog of Zeus, we'll hold the soy for the minute. The Daphoinos Aiatos, this is an eagle. Daphoinos, it means something, the phoinos here has to do with blood and gore and so on, so I think this is a word meaning savage, or perhaps blood red. The savage or blood red eagle, dia, so it's diatemese, it's a fairly rare word. It means to cut you limb from, will cut you limb from limb, or will cut from, will cut through your body. A mega rakos. Well, rakos is just a strip of something, often used. Our word rag actually is cognate with this. It here means a great strip of flesh, soy for you. It's connected etymologically with ragnumi, to break. So a rag is a piece of cloth broken off, torn off. A rakos is just a vague word for a strip. So here probably a strip of flesh, it's pretty gory. Akletos, hairpone, coming, literally creeping, but often used of just coming. Coming uninvited, akletos. The uninvited Diitalius, this is a banqueter, Panemeron, day, and he will feast upon your liver, which will be black, well, perhaps Kalino-croton, black-coloured. So he will feast on your black-coloured liver, Apa. ghastly. Toiudi mokthu terma, meeti pros doka, this is imperative. Do not expect any end of such mokthu, such a labour. Prinan, until Tistheon, one of the gods, might appear from phronomai, so this is subjunctive here, might appear as a diadokos, a successor for your troubles. And you will wish to go into Hades, which is without any light. This is alpha privative plus linking nu and the alg root. So you will wish to go into Hades, which has no light, and around the dark depths of Tartarus, which is a bit of having a go at him, because he says that he's not fated to die. And so, well, if he's not fated to die, he's going to suffer so much that he wish he were dead. Pros tauta buyu, so think upon these things. So hos hod u peplasmenos kompos. Since this kompos is a boast, you get a verb from this compuo, I think. So since this boast is not peplasmenos, from fabricated, but eukailion. Now there's variant reading here. Euremenus, menos. It euremenos here is there's an alternate reading etetumos, which means true. So this is the manuscript reading, and some modern editions replace this with etetumos, true. So this boast, since this boast is not fabricated, but it is good and excessively true. Pseu degoran ga uk epistatai stomaton dion, for the Zeusian mouth, that is the mouth of Zeus, does not know how to speak a lie, but the whole word is fulfilled. But you, peptino, it means to peek, really, to look, perhaps here, look carefully and think upon this. Think upon this, and we get made there. This is an subjunctive here for imperative. Nor ever regard stubbornness to be better than good counsel. And finally, the chorus comes in after this. Hermes appears to us, not a Chiron, not in an untimely way. Not to speak untimely things. I think this is neuter plural. So Hermes, on the one hand, does not appear to speak to us untimely things, for Einege, he bids you, Methent from Methiame, to having let go of your stubbornness, Erunan from Eruna, it's an infinitive, to search for wise counsel. To search for wise counsel. Pithu, obey, for it is a terrible thing for a wise person, ex hamatane, to do the wrong thing, to fall short of the mark, perhaps almost to sin. And that essentially is the end of the play. We now, from the lines 1040 to the end, we simply have the chorus and Prometheus and Hermes continuing to exchange comments with each other, and that's where the play will end. And this, of course, this play is part of a trilogy which will lead on to, from here, to another play, possibly the Prometheus Unbound. But unfortunately, we don't possess that play.